Right, so I was driving down the road yesterday and Sharon said, oh, look at that over there on the roadside. Rubbish. Pulled over and we see this. Let's see if we can get this going. I don't think we will, but we'll give it a go. Now I picked this up because I hadn't seen one of these before. I know Flymo do one of these. It's a hover mower, and this one is made by a very old English maker, I think, called Atco, and it's called the Airborne B16. I think it's a 2-stroke, but as you can probably see, it's the worst for wear. Look at that recoil in there, look. That's full up with crap in there. And even the fuel tank didn't have a lid on it, but there's also full up with rubbish on there. I don't hold out too much hope for this, to be honest with you, but looking underneath it, it's lost its blades, but it's got the big rotary disc on there, so that's one thing. And look at the state of that engine, look. That is absolutely terrible. That's been stuck somewhere, isn't it? It's got this long hose here as well. It comes up to a cold air intake filter, which I don't know if that's in there or it's dirty. It's going to be ruined or whatever, so that's that. It has got some sort of speed control on it, which is literally totally seized up, look, so I don't hold out too much hope for that. But if I can just spin it round. Oh. And here's the pull cord, which is on there. And it does turn over, although it doesn't return, look. So let's start stripping it down now. And I'll start by taking this recoil cover off, and we'll see what's underneath. That lug broke off this side there when I was hitting the hammer, as you can see, on the mounting bracket. I don't think it's going to matter too much, but you've got to be so careful with aluminium and steel screws going into it because they can strip so easily. Look at the state of this, look. Something's been living in here. There's all bits of seed and nuts in there. Look at that earth stuck in there, look. Wow, this is going to be a real challenge. This would have been a challenge for my worst lawnmower in the world competition I held about a year and a half or 2 years back. Let's get the air blower out and we can blow all this out as much as we can anyway, see what we're left with. There's all bits of fur and dust in there. I'm going to get the air blower out. Right, I've blown it off now. It looks a lot better, but on second look, after I pulled the pull cord and thought it was free, it's actually, I think you'll find sea solid. So I don't hold out too much hope for this, to be honest with you, but we will carry on. This is the air intake, as you can see there, and that's the carb which sits down there. You don't know why these things are seized. It might be because it was mixed with the wrong fuel and just added neat petrol. So we'll carry on stripping it down for a minute, as I say, because I might have to give up on this pretty soon. Once we get the carb off and we get maybe the cylinder head off and see what state the bore's in, or the crank or whatever, if we can get that free. If we can get it free, all well and good, we might give it a start or try to start it. But up till now, it's not looking very good for this little Atco. So I'm just going to carry on stripping down the intake, take the cylinder head off, and I'll come back to you in a second. So I'll see you in a minute. Right, I've got the air intake off now, and the filter inside is actually falling apart. Let me just pull it out for you. There is a filter in there, but it is absolutely terrible. It's dust basically, look, watch. Just crumbles to dust. So that's gone for a Burton. And I thought I might try and take the cylinder head off. Hope you can hear me alright with this wind. What size are those? Are they 3/8? No, they're even smaller than 3/8. Right, I've got an 8mm on there. Right, there's one undone. Let's pull that spark plug lead out of the way. I don't really now hold out too much hope for this. I was okay when I thought it was turning over, but as it's not turning over, very good chance that we're not going to be able to do anything with this. But we'll have a look. We'll take the head off and have a look at the state of the piston and the bore, and this will let us know if it's worth going any further. It's a shame because I see it laying on the road there and I thought, well, that's an old Atco first of all, and I thought, looked at it closely and then it was a blinking hover mower, and I thought that's quite unique. Sorry about the planes going over, that's the RAF planes, the Eurofighters from RAF Coningsby, not far from where I live. And they must be doing their training missions at the moment. It's still tight, I thought I'd loosen that off. So you've got to be careful because any of these head bolts break, we're in trouble. Pretty lucky with a 2-stroke because literally removing the head is literally a straightforward operation. There's no valves or anything. These threads are so dry, look at them, look, really dry. And when they're screwing into aluminium, you know you've got a very strong possibility that they could snap, because aluminium and the steel cause a potential difference, and that's what causes the corrosion, because they're two different metals. Right, okay, we're getting there. I'm not, as I say, if this is knackered, it's not worth going any further, and that'll be the end of this video. So I thought it important to take the head off first to save us wasting our time. Yeah, as I say, it's a bit windy out here today, so I'm sorry for the wind noise if you're getting any. I know I am. Right, okay. Telltale moment. Oh, here we go. Oh my god. That's terrible. I think it's a abort mission. I don't know whether or not you can see that, but oh, it's absolutely terrible. The bore's rusty, the piston is totally corroded. Let's try and put some lube in there. I don't, again, hold out too much hope for this, but if I can stand that up a bit, maybe that can run down the sides, I'm not sure. But God knows how long that's been standing. But I don't think there's no recovery from that, to be honest with you. Right, I've had this soaking for a while now. I've had a close look on the inside of the board there, and it is really rotten and pitted. Look at that spider's just come out, look. After all that blowing, he's actually, he's gone to live inside, look. Now I've tried turning this and there's no sign of any give on that whatsoever. So sometimes you've just got to let it go. I think we've got to say bye-bye to this one and know when to move on. I don't think there's anything we can really salvage off of this. It's not repairable. The engine's the main part of this, and it's just totally seized up, and it's probably even worse inside. Bearing in mind the intake is totally rusted up as well. So we're going to put this to one side and we'll have a look at that little mini pit bike that I bought from the auction, and I paid £18 for that actually. I know a lot of people saying, oh, why don't you say how much you're buying stuff for? Well, it doesn't matter what I pay for it. You pay for it what you think it's worth. It's probably different for you if you had a different opportunity. Anyway, let's get that up on the table and let's see if we can get this started. See you in a minute. Right, well, this is that little pit bike I bought at auction. It's a bit of a state. and I didn't even check whether it pulls over or not. So, well, it's got compression. These things were notorious for not starting very well. I suppose the first thing I ought to do to it is to get the plastics off. It's got no fuel in it, so I'll just get these plastics off and then we'll come back to it. So I'll see you in a second. Right, okay, that should come off now, and that's all it is. Look, it's actually broken at the back there. I'm not really too bothered about this, to be honest with you, but that's that out of the way. Seat's rubbish. Let's stand it up. Not much to it at all. As you can see, we've got no fuel in it. I wonder if it's got a spark. I think before I put any fuel in it, I'll just see if we've got a spark. Take the spark plug cover off there. I need some way of standing it up, really. Make life a bit easier. Could do with a block to wedge it up with. There we go, 19mm. Let's just undo that and have a look at the plug. See if it's been running rich all week, if someone's mixed it right. Well, it's running rich, as you can see, which is probably a better sign than it running too lean. So I wonder if we've got spark. Let's put that in there like that. Now I'm going to try and pull this over somehow. Not going to be very easy because I've got it wedged up with a bit of wood like that. Yes, there's spark. I just see a spark. Right, so we've got spark. What I'm going to do, put the spark plug back in and hopefully put some fuel in the tank, 2-stroke mix with oil, and we'll give it a buzz. I say it might work, I don't know. Not tried it. Just nip that up. Makes a change for us to have spark. Pull that back over there like that. Right, okay, that's on. So I need it standing up, really. Well, let me go mix some 2-stroke first and then we'll put it in the tank. Here we are inside. I've got some petrol here and I've got some 2-stroke oil. Now these little pit bikes, if you want to call them that, or what they called mini motos, I think you'll find, these little 2-strokes, they run on a 40-to-1 mix, and I'm going to mix up a 40-to-1 mix of 2-stroke here. A lot of garden machinery in that runs off a 40-to-1 mix, and what I'm going to do is mix up 500 millilitres, and for 500 millilitres of normal fuel, petrol, you need 12.5 millilitres of 2-stroke. So I've got a little syringe here, so I'm just going to measure out 500 millilitres of petrol. Alright, 500. Big mess I've made, look. Let's just have a little wipe up here. Be a lot more careful doing this than what I'm being. Where's the lid gone? I'll put the lid down somewhere, look. There we go. So 500 millilitres of petrol. And we want 12.5 millilitres of 2-stroke fluid. So I want 2 of these and another half. These are 5 millilitres syringes. So let's get that's 5. Another one of them. That's 10. And now I want half of that, 2.5 millilitres. 2.5 millilitres. That's it. Give that a bit of a stir up. Or pencil there. And that is a 40:1 ratio 2-stroke mix for mini motos or other garden equipment as well. So I'll just run through that again for you. It's half a litre of petrol, 500 millilitres, half a litre of petrol, and 12.5 millilitres of your 2-stroke oil. That will give you, for a half a litre of fuel, which is just enough for not power tools, petrol garden trimmers or whatever. That will give you enough fuel for a little container, a little half a litre container. So if we was doing a litre of 2-stroke mix, we'd have a litre of petrol, and not 12.5. What's double 12.5? Is 25. So that'd be 25 millilitres of 2-stroke oil, and that'd give you a litre, but a 40:1 mix as well. So let's get this put in that mini moto and see if we can start it. Right, okay. Let's. I'm going to need to tie that tank up, I think. We'll put the strainer in. I don't even know if the blinking hose pipe leaks or whatever. It don't appear to be leaking out, so hopefully that's a good thing. I think it will take all that, which is good because I don't like leaving petrol not in an enclosed container, you know. Right, that's in that. There's also a little breather in these caps as well, so always make sure you've got the breather hole unblocked. Right, okay. Let's stand it back on the floor now. Now, as I say, I don't know whether or not we're getting fuel into that carb or whether the carb's blocked or what, I don't know. So bear with me, let's get it down on the floor. Right, okay, down now. Now these things are notoriously difficult to start normally. Now I can see a wire coming from, where is it? Where's that wire go? Down to the ignition there. Comes up here to the handle, and I think that might have been a kill switch there, but obviously the kill switch is gone, but there is enough metal there for me just to touch it and stop it if I need to. Now, is there a choke on these? I ain't got a clue. Or do you just try and pull? Is the throttle loose? Yep, the throttle's loose. Right, let's try and put it over. Again, it might need fuel coming through. Is there a fuel tap on it? Yeah, there is. Which was off. I just don't want getting fuel through there, you know. Oh, there is a choke on it. Oh, that fired. Now take the choke off. Yeah, so that was a kill switch there. The carb is overflowing. As you can see down there. I'm just going to turn that fuel off. Right, okay, that's off. Well, it does run, but I would presume the reason why it was at the auction is because it's got no drive. Now, I would imagine inside here is a little sort of variator, a clutch mechanism. So that would involve taking the sides off, putting a new clutch mechanism in, and then basically the chassis, as you can see, is actually all right. We can do something with the carb, that's not a problem. We can probably do something with the fork seals at the front and powder coat all this up maybe. It sounds really throaty and very powerful little thing for what it is, and it started so well. A lot of these can be very troublesome to start, but yeah, we got away with this one, I think. We'll keep this for another project, but yeah, it runs. So there we go. This one will live again. It's a good little restoration piece, to be honest with you. I know they're not worth much money, but it's worth a go. This one will live again. This one will be going down the tip. So you can't win them all. Scrap is scrap sometimes, and yeah, there you go. That's a little mini moto we've saved. Can't be bad. Happy days. Another little project for some time later on. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out our other videos, and also check out our Retro Hacks channel as well. We put one video a week up on there every Wednesday, doing a little restoration piece. Thanks very much. See you in the next video. Till then, bye for now.